I will bring you back to the land of Israel, and then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord. I will open your graves and bring you up from them. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live and settle in your own land. Receive that prophetically, magically. And I'm going to stop now. Yes? Peace be unto you.
Purposes only. African bloodlines did not begin with suffering, they began with sovereignty. Africans carry the primordial Edenic codes, the original resonance of Earth in her untampered form. And this isn't just spiritual, it's energetic biology. These codes are embedded in the mitochondrial DNA, in the melanin, in the soul memory of Earth's first divine experiment in physical form. Your frequency potential is not just higher, it's wider. And it's not about being higher on a ladder, but having access to the full keyboard of creation. Frequencies of light, sound, magnetism, and even pre-verbal communication are all encoded within your ancestral field. You can access multiple timelines and realms faster than those who carry diluted or altered genetic memory if you are spiritually activated, not suppressed by trauma, substances, parasitic implants, vaccines, and societal programming. This is why controllers fear you so deeply. The parasitic matrix specifically targets African bloodlines with distractions, engineered suffering, and spiritual amnesia. And if reawakened, you can not only collapse the matrix, but reseed Eden herself. And there are 3 frequency secrets. Your melanin is a conductor of multidimensional light. It is not pigment. It's an antenna that's living. It translates divine frequency into cellular command. African DNA carries untouched Atlantean and Lemurian memory. There were encoded voices speaking in harmony with Earth. That memory still exists within you, waiting to be triggered. The Edenic line holds the key to collective resurrection. When the true heirs reclaim their soul sovereignty, the frequency net shatters, and even the stars.
All right, welcome back again, my people, to the channel. Thanks for coming. Thanks for always being here. You see, there are people who doesn't believe in unity, and sometimes you're doing something, they would come and say, this unity, it's not going to happen. And this unity may be, like, it's difficult to happen. But, you know, we've seen what unity can do. We are black people, we're in Africa. And we've seen great men talking about unity. Listen to the great speeches from people like Shahid Bolsen, people like Louis Farrakhan, people like those even those who passed on a long time ago, like Martin Luther King, They've been talking about unity, not because they didn't know what unity can do. Farrakhan said one day that a unity of a black person is as powerful as a hydrogen bomb or an atomic bomb. That is how powerful the unity of a black person is. And therefore, we're going to talk about it. We're going to address it. We'll talk about it and talk about it and talk about it until it starts working. We've seen what just people are doing, even the Gen Zs are doing, and they are changing things completely. We just saw what happened in Tanzania. That was a unity of people who came together and they decided bad leadership can no longer continue. We've seen what happened in Madagascar. We've seen what has happened in Ivory Coast previously. And we are seeing how even the Western countries, they are shaken themselves when they see African Americans and black people trying to come to Africa, because they know these people are going to unite, and when they unite, they're going to be dangerous. Let me tell you, before colonization happened in Africa, number one thing that white people did, they made sure they have divided the black people. During the years of 1884, during the Berlin Conference, they made sure black people are divided so that they can be able to rule. It was impossible for them to rule without them dividing the black people, because if they wouldn't have divided black people, it means black people would have been together. And if they would have been together, it was difficult for them to rule and for them to win the fight. White people got to a point when they felt like we need to go and exercise this colonization, not as a direct colonization, but as a neo-colonization. Because if we continue portraying it directly, it's going to be a problem. These people are fighting us, they are overwhelming us, and mind you, mark you, the white people had guns and all that. They had everything, like all weapons of war. Black people did not have any weapons of war, but we were overwhelming them, at that fight and all that, and they had to live. Assume now, let's now assume it would be a time when all the black people would be together. They wouldn't have been divided. Would it be easy for them to come and colonize us? It would be difficult. So unity can really work. The only thing that can work is unity. People to speak the same language, people to move in the same direction, people to work things in the right way, people to in the same way, people to listen to each other, agree on one thing, and move forward that way. We've been talking about an Africa that is united, where all countries would come together and they speak the same language, they move towards the same direction, yeah, and accept on the same thing, having one military, breaking the boundaries, yeah, having a president who's gonna lead the whole of Africa, and we call it the United States of Africa. You know, not calling Uganda, Tanzania, and many other countries. This one divides us, where people want to do things as a group of people. Ghana wants to do things as a group of people. You see, Cameroon wants to do things as a group of people. What Ghana decides, or the rules they are putting in place, are not the same rules that other countries are putting in place. So every single country their own rules, making it difficult for us to be able to conquer. And that is why white America has always been conquering Africa. They have always been conquering black people. You know, in America, black people are a nightmare to the white Americans. I can tell you that for a fact, because the black people in America, they have always been intact, you know, and that is why they've been fought all this time, because America has not found it easy to have them, because they've always been intact and been together, you know. So right now, the black people have realized one thing. Black people have realized that they have begun to know themselves and to understand themselves, and by that they are now beginning to unite, and this unity is going to strengthen them, is going to make them stronger, and we are going to reclaim everything that was taken. We are going to take back our spaces from the face of the earth, and we are going to come back strong and to rule once again. So you disqualify unity, but we're going to talk about unity because we've seen and we know what unity can be able to do. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for always coming. I really appreciate you so much, and thank you for loving me and for choosing this channel as your #1 channel, and many other channels that are talking about the black power, the black unity, the black culture, the channels that are embracing black as a community, and everything that concerns black people. All these channels where people are talking about all these things, I really appreciate you, and may you continue doing this great work, and let us watch them, share their videos, and let's make sure that we come together and we conquer once again, as our great leaders always, and as they have always told us and asked us to do. Thank you for always doing what is needed. Now, the black Americans right now, they have known something that many people didn't know they will come to know. Remember, we were hidden. Our history was hidden from us, from the black people. And for many years, black people have lived a life where they don't know who they are. They don't know where did they came from and all that. They didn't know what is like their value, their let me say their worth and all that. We've been disqualified. We've been taught we are less fortunate. We are not capable. We are incapable for many years, and we lived knowing we are incapable. We saw them better than us, you know, and there is a problem that is now coming to the people who did not know we can be or we will ever know about ourselves. And this problem has been catalyzed by the black people beginning to understand who they really are and beginning to know themselves. Now, should America be worried? Should white America be worried? Yes, they should, because there are some of the things that are going to be difficult on them when eventually the black people, the whole community, realizes and understands who they really are. I want you to take a look at these videos. I will come back and say more about it, okay? Before that, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to this channel if you're watching me for the first time. I really do appreciate. Let's be able to grow together, okay? Now, as you're watching these videos, prepare your thoughts, have them shared with me in the comment section. I will do my best to make sure I read all of them and give a response where possible. But until then, let's take a look at the videos.
Within weeks, I had booked a flight and I was in Sierra Leone, just to see what it was like to experience the land that my lineage, my ancestors came from. And I was so well received. It didn't stop just in Freetown. They took me all the way back to the village of the Mende people and had like thousands of people celebrating and drums and music and food and all this stuff to receive myself and my wife and welcome us back to our tribe. Wow. African garb, African jewelry, African names. They bestowed upon me the name Bambaga, which means the son of the soil. And Bambanya was my wife's African given name, which means the daughter of the soil. So we got to meet the chief and the children. We got to eat with our hands. It was a emotional experience. And that cultural piece that came along with it, sitting at the foot of your elders, going to the graveyard and was like, here, you've lost 400 years of history. Here's the last 400 years of chiefs and paramount chiefs and scouts and warriors from your lineage. How powerful is that to sit on the graveyard of your lineage and then bring that history back home to your children and your family? It was an amazing opportunity to reconnect. The door opened through service. And my letter of expression was just to serve as maybe like an honorary consul or something in the United States where I could have some tie back to the continent and serve local Sierra Leoneans here in America. And I was like, no, brother, you need to be special. So we're going to appoint you as a special envoy for trade and investment based on my background and give you the title of an ambassador. So wherever you go in the world, they have to acknowledge you as His Excellency. Now, could you imagine the power coming from the names we've been called in our past, right? To now have to be called His Excellency. Brother, my eyes was watering up. Yeah. You understand the dynamic just by showing up on the continent, just by going back home and going in the presence of service. I got bestowed on me one of the highest honors that you can be appointed as an ambassador and a special envoy. So that's kind of how the process began.
What that tells you is that the genetic diversity within Africa as the origin of our species is greater than it is between any other two people anywhere else in the world. But because the anthropologists were not thinking genetic diversity, they're thinking skin color. They put them all in one bin. But if you have the most genetic diversity, then in practically every way humans vary, you would find the extreme of that in the African continent. Where would you find the tallest people in the world? How about the shortest people in the world?
Pygmies.
The pygmies. Where might you find the slowest people in the world? Well, no one looks for them. How about the fastest people? Africa. How about the smartest person in the world? Africa. The Europeans did not look for people smarter than they were. Okay? And to this day, where they find evidence where that might have been the case, you have people saying aliens did it. So my point is, if you don't look for it and you don't find it and you're going to create a map of humans of the world, you're going to put yourself at the top. What that tells you is that...
So let's be fucking honest. We all know the black community hold all the fucking weight. We hold the power. But the power only shows when we come as fucking one. We've been taught to compete with each other instead of collaborate. To doubt each other instead of investing in each other. But we need to work together. We need to build community. When we come together with love instead of ego, let's take out the fucking ego, people. That's when a real magic is gonna fucking happen. And that's when we could shift fucking generations. But we keep talking. Talking is not gonna get us no fucking where. You could do all the podcasts. We just yapping. We need to do this, we need to do that. We all know what the fuck we need to do. So when y'all really ready to change some shit and really build a fucking community, call me. Other than that, we're just yapping. Like right now, I'm yapping. We're not taking no fucking action. I'm done. We all know what the fuck we need to do. We just talking. We all know what the fuck we need to do. Let's be fucking real. So when y'all ready?
This message is for my Afro people all across the globe. If you are not Afro, just go ahead and keep scrolling because this is not for you. But my people, for centuries, we've been told that we are less. In America, we've been called lazy, criminal, uneducated. In Africa, we've been told this lie of poverty, backwardness, mockery of our languages and our culture. Even in the Caribbean, we've been painted as nothing more than servants or entertainers, violent. In South America, our communities are often completely erased as though they were never even existing. We're seen as outsiders. We're always at the bottom of the ladder, no matter what country you go to. And that conditioning, it didn't happen by accident. It was designed to make us doubt ourselves, to turn against our own beauty and our own cultures, from skin bleaching to rejecting our natural hair and our natural hairstyles, to believing that our food, our music, or our accents were somehow inferior. We've been taught to disconnect completely from who we are and where we come from. Our histories have been stolen. Our culture has been completely removed or told that we don't even have one. But here's the honest truth. We are the soul of every society we have ever touched. Our creativity, our resilience, our spirit have completely shaped this world. In the moment we stop repeating those narratives that we have been taught and we start loving ourselves deeply and affirming ourselves, we will step into the true power that was meant for us. We're reaching a very strong turning point across America, Africa, Caribbean, Europe, South America. We must see ourselves and we must see each other with love. No more division, no more lies. We are a global family. And with awakening, it begins with reloving ourselves and reloving each other. Let's start this today.
Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Come on, sit down. Let's talk. I need y'all to understand the magnitude in which you have been programmed to forget who you are. You know why we can't find the ancient ones? You know why people don't believe that the ancient ones exist? Is because the ancient ones are already here. We are here. We've never left. We've been imprisoned, programmed in our mind to believe that all of what we see now is reality and is real, and that all that ancient old stuff is BS. We're here. We never left. And then not only have we been programmed, but then we've been given these religious indoctrinations to further push the narrative. Look to the heaven, look to the stars, they want you to do everything but look within yourself because they don't want you to remember who you are. Do you know how old I am? Do you know how ancient I am? Do you know how ancient you are? Do you know? I need y'all to understand and stop utilizing these distraction tactics. They have us bamboozled and swindled. Y'all worried about physical prison. You're already in prison because they done took you here. That's who they are. They are the dark ones. They took us. They imprisoned us. And they programmed simulation after simulation after simulation after simulation that went through generation for you to forget who you are. Do you know how far down in the sunken place they put us for us to not remember we are the ancient ones who roam the earth? Distraction tactics, sorcery. They want you to care about your BBLs. They want you to care about the fact that Jimmy Fox done popped up all over the place. They want you to care about race riots. They want you to care about all this nonsense. Why? Because it's smoke and mirrors. It's something bigger but happening behind the scenes. You have no idea the kind of power that the three most wealthiest families in this reality are really working with. to keep everyone asleep in the sunken place. Remember who you are. Fuck the smoke and mirrors. Look behind the scenes. All the synchronicities, if you're seeing signs, you're seeing symbols, you're seeing synchronicities, it's because you are being called to remember who you are. All the tools that we utilize in spirituality, there's just tools. Because you're you, they are totems. For you to remember who you are. It is a roadmap to get back to who you are as an ancient being. Remember who you are. Their sorcery is great, but ours is greater. You're being called to wake up at this time because there's work to be done. There's work. Reclaim your power. Reclaim who you are. Remember who you are.
Now, Black Americans knowing and understanding themselves, knowing their roots, their history, trying to connect or reconnect with with their roots and the rest of their brothers and sisters, it is really sounding a threat to the white America, and I will tell you why. For many years, white Americans or white supremacists did not want Black people to know themselves, to understand who they are. They didn't know them to know that. But a time has come when now it can no longer happen, and this one marks the end of the white supremacist upon the Black people. Now, why should the white America be worried? There's going to be the challenge to establish narratives. These are my points that I just noted down, and I want to put them clear to you. Number one, there's going to be the challenge to establish narratives. And under that, for a long time, American history was told from a Eurocentric perspective when Black Americans reclaimed their history, highlighting slavery, colonialism, stolen labor, and cultural erasure. It challenges the comfort of the traditional national narrative. Okay? Why it worries some of the white Americans? It forces the country to confront unconfrontable truths and accountability. There are some truths that were hidden, and these truths, they're going to be forced to just confront them. Though it is difficult, but they will have to, because questions will arise. You told us we are this. Why are we finally realizing we are not what you told us we were, but instead we are this kind of people? They must say, and they will have to say. Number two, we have economic and political empowerment. If more Black Americans begin to pool resources, invest in their own communities, or connect, connect economically with Africa and the global Black diaspora, it could shift economic power and influence. And if it shifts economic power and influence, it means now they are people who are going to have less power. Yes, they had power before and they ruled over us, but now, remember, this one will make the Black people to now draw their resources, their attention, their intelligence, their intellectual, and shift it back somewhere else. I've told you before, I'm going to tell you again. Black people, their intelligence, their labor, their power, their work, hard working, and everything, it is what has been building America. Imagine if they draw it out. Imagine if they shift it. White America will not have the pride that they're claiming they have. They will not be arrogant as they are, because this arrogance is what they've been having for a very long time, and it has made them look better than us. Okay? But they are arrogant, not knowing that it is the Black people and the Black power that has made them who they are. So why should that worry them? Redistribution of wealth and power can threaten established elites who benefit from the status quo, and that is just the bitter truth. Number three, social unity and cultural pride. A self-aware, united, and cultural confident Black population can no longer be easily divided or manipulated through stereotypes, misinformation, or political tokenism. Okay? So, division has often been a tool of control. Unity means strength and independence. So, these people couldn't have done anything without dividing the Black people. And this simply means if black people get to know the truth, they will know, oh, so you divided us for you to rule us. So what will the black people do? Black people will have now to go back. They will have to go back and unite. Where there was a division, they will close that division by uniting. The moment they unite, they become very stronger. The moment they unite, they become a threat to the white America. Now, the white America will have to be very careful because they are only winning because of they're dealing with the weaker people. So the people who are against them, the other team, they've made it weak. By making it weak, now they are ruling. How did they made it weak? They divided the people. They made them weak by dividing them. And now, people have now begin realizing who they really are. It means after realizing who they really are, after they're getting hold of the history, they are going now to know, so these people divided us for them to be able to rule us. What will they do? They will start coming back. They will start drawing themselves in. They will start uniting and trying to correct the mistakes or correct the mess that was created by a white man. And that is how it's going to be a problem to the white America, especially those who have been surviving through dividing the black people. Okay? Number 4, we have global connection with Africa. If black Americans reconnect with Africa economically, culturally, and politically, it can strengthen both sides of Atlantic and create a powerful global identity. Yeah, they can create a powerful global identity. Now, black people reconnect with Africa because by knowing who they are, the true history is that black people, the African Americans, were cut off from Africa. Their roots is Africa. This one lost a lot of things. Now, it might have lost a lot of things, but on the other hand, it gave the black Americans the advantage to understand and to know many things. Right now, they have been exposed to the so-called first world countries, and now they are very much intelligent. If they come back to Africa and reconnect, it means economically they're going to be strength. Culturally, they're going to be an added strength, and politically also there is going to be an added strength. Yeah, so it can strengthen both sides of the Atlantic and create a powerful global identity. Therefore, globally and all eyes around the world, they are now going and they must watch the black people very carefully, because these people together, they can do great things. If they fear the black people, the African Americans themselves, they fear them. Only the African Americans. Tell me if the African Americans unite with the rest of Africans in Africa. Even the Africans, they fear them. And that is why they've never allowed people to come together. Let's take, for example, Captain Ibrahim Traore came to power. When he rose to power, he had one intention: uniting Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Those were the first 3 countries that Captain Ibrahim Traore thought of uniting. Though his initial intention and primarily subject was to unite the whole of Africa. And still today, he's still preaching about the unity of the whole of Africa. And he decided, I want to do a sample by uniting the 3 countries that are bordering me. It became a problem. It shook every country, every white country that was against them. France, they started getting shaken. America itself was afraid, and they began fighting Captain Ibrahim Traore very much because they knew these 3 countries, if they come together, they use the same currency. Because Captain Traore was even doing away with that currency from France, and he wanted to come up. He's even planning to come back to come up with their own currency. They use one currency, one military, and they break the boundaries. It really became a problem. So these people fear the unity of a black person, you know. So they must look now. The black people will have created a global identity where other countries must begin to notify and to identify and to recognize the black countries, because it will have gotten to a point when they will see a power they've never seen, in that if they want to make a decision, a black person must be part of it. Look at the UN. In the United Nations meetings, people have been complaining about not having a black or an African person representing the rest of the African countries. We are being called to attend the meetings when we don't have a representative. Yeah, but if something like this happen, it means They will have no choice but engaging us in every conversation. Yeah, we shall have to be engaged, because if you don't engage them, you're going to lose a lot of things. Africa will be powerful to an extent. We must engage them. We must call them. We must make them part of this. We must bring them on the table. If we're making decisions, they must be here, because if they don't be here, if they are not here, then it means we will lose a lot of things, because we depend on them to get everything. Right now, they still depend on us, but they make it look like they deserve it. They don't make it look like we're helping them. They make it look like it is their right to get it. So they get it by force, but at the end of the day, they make us look like beggars, when they are themselves are the ones who are taking what does not belong to them by force. Now, it should worry them, because it will challenge Western dominance in defining value, culture, and global alliances. The dominance you are seeing in Western countries will go away. It will die. It will disappear. It will be weak, because now Africa will be great and powerful. It means Africa and the rest of the black people will begin dominating, and that will be a fact, and nobody can stand against that. Number 5, we have transformation of national identity. As a black American reclaim their history, the definition of American identity itself evolves. It moves away from a white-centric image towards a more inclusive, truthful representation of all the people who built the nation. Okay, let me read that again. As a black Americans reclaim their history, number 1, the definition of American identity itself evolves. Okay, it moves away from a white-centric image towards a more inclusive, truthful representation of all people who built the nation. Are you getting my point? Right now, listen, right now, white people will claim they are the owners of America, they built America, and therefore they tend to disqualify black people, making black people look less productive or less important. But today, if black people decide, now that we have understand about ourselves, now we want to live, it will put it out clear that, oh, so black people also helped this country, because it is until they lose them that they will realize, oh, so these people did a lot of things in this country, because it will go to a point where they can't manage the country by themselves, they can't run things by themselves, and that will be a very big problem. It will put out clear who really built this country and who really was running this country. I've told you time and again, black Americans have built America, they're running the economy of America and many other things. The only problem we have, they cannot be identified for doing all those things. They cannot be identified. But if they would have been identified, you would have seen wonders. And that one should worry them, because it will disrupt a long-led myth about who owns or defines America. We've always been having a moment where white Americans have been defining America. We are the owners, not even America alone, definers of the whole world. But right now, it's going to be a problem, because it will put out clear that, oh, so it has been always the black people who have been keeping America alive time and again. Let me finish up by saying this. America shouldn't really be worried as such or that much, because at the end of the day, it is just people knowing who they are and trying to take and to chase what belongs to them. Yeah, but it should be reflective. What's happening is not a rebellion, but it is a restoration, trying to get back to where we were uprooted, trying to get back and stand for ourselves, and trying to do things by our own selves, where nobody has to define our future or our destiny and all that. Okay, a society that allows truth, justice, and self-knowledge to flourish becomes stronger, not weaker. That is all I have to say today. Tell me what you think in the comment section, my good people. I will really read all the comments and give a response where possible. I am the African Streamline Atamba Haiti. Thanks for coming. Thanks for always being here. I really, really appreciate and love you being here right now at this moment. And God bless you in whatever the things you're doing. And God bless the works of your hand. God fulfill the desires of your heart. And everything you've ever wanted to happen in this life of yours, let it come true in Jesus' name. I love you wherever you are. And thanks for coming. And welcome back again to the African Streamline for more and more episodes. Until next episode, peace be with you.